Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do we have a show for you today? Welcome to the Flipping Live Show, episode 16. And today's guest, I don't have any fancy movie clips or anything, but you know who he is. Ladies and gentlemen, Cincinnati Picker, John.
What's up,
How you
guys?
doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, thank you for coming on. This is awesome. I've wanted to pick your brain on a number of different things. So last week in the chat, and hopefully you know this person because they said they've known you for over 20 years. I think it was Patrick. Is that Patrick Murphy? Is that same name? Did I make that name up? I don't know.
Patrick Murphy. It sounds familiar.
Someone in the chat said that they were very excited about today's live and just seeing you because they've known you for 20 years and they still to this day don't understand like how you've blossomed the way you have because you're very, I guess, shy is the word they used.
Interesting. Well, if it's been 20 years, then I would have been in high school with him.
Yeah,
I don't know why that name's not ringing a bell.
Sorry, yeah, hopefully they join. Hopefully they join the chat because for someone, you know, I'll get right into the YouTube stats more than the reselling stuff. To someone that is 207,000 subscribers on YouTube, that doesn't strike me as someone that's shy on the camera.
Yeah, sometimes I get shy on camera. Like I'm still not, 100% comfortable on camera, I guess, which I don't know if I ever will be. I mean, I've been doing this now for over 4 years. Like I've gotten better. If you go back to my first video, it's horrible. It's really bad, but I like to leave it up there just as like this is where it was and now this is where it came from. So, but yeah, like some people are really, really, really good on camera and just comfortable, like Tesla Picker. That guy is amazing. I love watching his videos because he's smooth and comfortable and just very conversational. That's the hard, like if you're just holding, a camera, like filming, you're trying to be conversational with yourself, like with a camera. That is really, really hard to do. And that's something. I
don't like being in public holding anything. I think you wear on your backpack.
Yeah.
I just got a GoPro like kit here with all the doodads and stuff, so all these different ways I can carry it and look awkward. But that's my main thing is like when I see people with the stick, like if I see that person in public, I'm just like, I don't want to be that person. And I mean, they could have the biggest channel ever, but it's weird to me to think about walking around filming yourself while you're doing something. But let me say hi to everybody in the chat before I screw this all up. We do have the first he was in here like an hour before the show. He wanted to be the first thumbs up. So what's going on, man? What's up, Marcus? We got Utah Bond God Zach's in here. Devin, what's up? What's up, Keith? Dana. That's a new name. That's probably here for you. Oh, it's Alan. There we go. Nice. And AR. What's going on, guys? Welcome. As always, Stacy's going to be in the chat for anything I miss, hopefully. And then that's you. So again, I wanted to go more into just reselling. How I know like how you got into it is like the number one question on every live show. So I'm avoiding that one at all costs. Did you do anything before what you do now? Like, did you ever have like a real 9-to-5? Like,
yeah. So I've been full-time now for going on 8 years. And I've been part-time. Gosh, this is crazy. I thought about this the other day. It's almost more than half my life that I've been reselling. Like it's going on 18 years and I'm only 36. So like even when I had normal 9-to-5 jobs and regular jobs, I was still reselling on the side. I worked at a logistics company for like a year, like on the phone with truckers and companies and like just being the middleman, like hated that. It's awful. Basically, I had a sales job at an appliance store, and I actually really liked that because the earning potential was huge. Like it was just commission, but stopped doing that. And like ever since I've been full-time reselling, like I'm definitely, knock on wood, I'll never have a normal job again just because I love it and I love the freedom and just everything that comes along with it. Chicago Crown Hustlers in the chat. Oh man, that's an old name. Kurt, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Still rocking your sticker. That's awesome.
Oh, that is so cool. I met Kurt at the first reseller rally in Chicago. Really nice guy.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Whose brainchild was that? Is it just a collective group or?
Yeah, so the first one was in 2017. It's been almost 5 years. That's crazy. That was Pete, the Craigslist hunter, Ronnie Heart Pickers, Chad, the Golden Finger Picker, um, Deb pinching pesos. Like they all got together and did the first one, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know that I think Dante has something coming up in South Carolina in October. And I've always kind of reached out and kind of told people, I'm like, hey, I mean, Texas is a really awesome place. We got a lot of thrift, a lot of garage sales, a lot of flea markets. I think we could get a really big rally down here. It's hot all the time.
You got to set it up, man. You got to set it up. If it's your town, you gotta do the thing. Like when we were originally planning the one in Cincinnati and like figuring out where we were going to do it, you know, we decided on like, okay, it's got to be somewhere where one of us can kind of be like have feet on the ground and like see what's going on. You know what I mean? We can't just be like making phone calls and trying to figure things out if we're like not in person. So we landed on Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. If I want to just take on the challenge, because I'm used to booking like shows, so I'm used to talking with venues and finding out, you know, pricing and things like that. And then, you know, logistically, I know all the thrifts and all the bins and all the every place that we could all, you know, do a travel and just kind of take over all these places. I mean, Houston has got a lot. We even have the warehouse district. We could just go down and do all the wholesaling stuff and just buy everything in bulk.
Yeah, Houston's a lot bigger than I think people realize. What are you guys, like 8th or 9th biggest city in the country?
I think actually we fight with Detroit for number 3.
Seriously?
Yeah, we're stacked.
I would have guessed Chicago. Dang. That's really interesting. I knew you guys were massive.
Yeah, and then we're just continuing to grow as more businesses and more you know, celebrities and people in general seem to be flocking here. Everyone's leaving California, coming to Texas. We find out more and more big businesses coming and building here. We have like 5 Amazon fulfillment warehouses within like a 20 mile radius of my house now.
Oh my God.
We actually have one less than a half a mile from my house. So the gas stations around here every morning are the worst because they all use this. So it's like Amazon trucks everywhere. And I can't get into their dumpsters. I've tried because I've seen YouTube people like go to Amazon and like get in the dumpsters, but these are like prisons. They're fortified walls are like 12 feet tall with barbed wire, so they must have really good stuff
there. Right? Yeah, they gotta protect the trash.
That's the way my brain works. I'm like, if you have 12-foot fences with barbed wire, you probably have good trash.
Now, do you sell on Amazon with the shoes and everything, or do you guys primarily do eBay?
So we are primarily eBay right now. Now, when I started reselling in 2017, we were doing a lot of FBA stuff, but it was mostly like retail arbitrage and electronics. Like I started with VCRs and combo players because my brain just couldn't imagine that people still wanted that stuff.
Right.
And then now, as I'm seeing CDs come back and people are paying decent money for, you know, CDs, especially in lots. And, you know, the craze on Instagram right now is everybody's selling VHS like crazy, especially sealed ones. Yeah. All the old tech's coming back. So Amazon, I want to get into with the shoes for our new stuff that we're working with, the new inventory we're working with our supplier. If I can get a couple more invoices, I think we'd be able to just submit that and then get ungated in like Nike and Reebok and stuff. And then we could just go, if I can figure out logistically just how have the supplier ship it directly to Amazon, that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Store it and do all that. But right now it's primarily eBay. We were doing all the cross listing stuff. And then I just noticed like the amount of work to do it wasn't worth what we were selling on Mercari or Poshmark. So just focusing on eBay and just growing it. Devin, do pickers source in different places than flippers? I guess because you're
thought those two things were the same. I thought flippers and pickers were the same thing. Just, you know, two ways to say reseller, basically.
Yeah. When I was a kid and my mom used to like dig in trash and pull out like furniture and clothes and stuff, like I was just like, oh my God, my mom's a bum. But now, now I look at it and I'm like, she was ahead of her time. Yeah.
She was frugal. She's smart.
Yeah, and then, you know, we have an excess of stuff that we get rid of in the United States, especially during Q4 when everybody's trying to upgrade.
Right.
Really trying to have questions about insurance. Have kids heard extremely expensive? Yeah, If you have children, yes, insurance is expensive, but I kind of look at insurance as a necessity, kind of like supplies. You have to have packing tape and, shelves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
At least the kids, for sure.
Yeah, my wife used to have her own policy when she was working, but now that she's not, we have an independent policy. And it's not cheap, but we get by, and we've got 2 little kids. I would say shop around, do a lot of shopping around,
Yeah.
because there's so many different places to get it. Like it's crazy how many options there are out there.
Yeah, it just popped up once the market happened, and
Right.
there's just all these different companies. I noticed, just because I'm always looking at analytics, you have 2 videos over 1 million views, and you have one video that's like, I think 2.6 million, and that was within the last 5 months.
Yeah.
And for all the YouTube like that I've watched on how to get more views, how to get more blah blah blah, everyone talks about thumbnail, keywords, all this tags, all this stuff. Your YouTube channel is pretty straightforward. Like, your thumbnails are usually a live shot. You got your red arrow, which is
Yep.
you got your red arrow, and if you don't have your red arrow, you have yellow font.
Mm-hmm.
And you're crushing it. Like 2.5 million views on a video that's like, I think it was like an old lady and a red arrow, and it wasn't even like a full 80 character title. Like, it just kind of shows you like, maybe there are other things in the works, but it's awesome to see 2.5 million views on a garage sale of video.
Yeah, never in my wildest dreams will I guess that one of my videos would have that many views, man. It's crazy. I don't go super in depth with like the analytics at all. Like, I'll talk to friends that know all this stuff, like, oh, what's your, like, I don't know, like click-through rate or conversion rate. They have all these different things. I'm like, I've never even seen that stuff. The only thing I look at in my analytics is like, what time of day is good to post my videos. Like, YouTube tells me when the subscribers are on, and like I look at that. But outside of that, I don't look at anything, like not a single thing. I don't look at thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't look at how long they're watching, like none of that stuff. But I do, I'll play around a little bit with the thumbnails. So a couple months ago, I hired a guy that was making thumbnails. So like the font was a little bit cleaner and crisper, and he kind of had like some shadowing going on. So I kind of wanted to see how those would perform. And then the last couple I put out, I went back to like doing an arrow, and it kind of, it's like, it's here and there. You know what I mean? Because like the thumbnail plays off of the title. So if the title is about something I found, then it just makes sense to like have the arrow there and like pointing at that thing. But if the title is about a unique interaction I had with somebody, then arrows aren't really going to make sense. And sometimes I'll just try to add some text in there. So
like a quote or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's my train of thought with all that stuff.
No, I look at your videos, and I see you have like a very simple, which I love things. I love keeping things simple. Like, you have a set, like, this is how, and so if somebody goes to your channel, they don't know who you are because they've been living under a rock. They're like, they can automatically pick up on what your flow is, your style, things like that. You don't move around too much. I think there was like 4 videos in a row, which is probably what you're talking about, where it was like a red shadow on the left, and then the text was stacked, and then you went back to like the red arrow in the text. And I try not to look at any of the analytics anymore, because honestly, I don't understand any of it. The only one, like you said, that I really look at is when people are watching. And then I try to gauge around that. But my biggest thing is I just don't film enough, because it's so uncomfortable to me, and I'm concentrating on finding stuff when I'm thrifting or when I'm working, was what.
Right.
So, but you do is it primarily just garage sales?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm really fortunate now that I've got this awesome network of people that I buy from on a regular basis, like repeatedly.
Nice.
A guy has been in my videos named Mike, probably 7 or 8 times, and I've bought from him like more than a dozen times. So like once a month, he'll just call me like, "Hey, I got a carload of stuff," and he'll bring it to me, and I always pay him a premium because he's bringing it to me. It's like I'm picking a picker's stuff, so he's already like, it's all proven sellers. He knows how to look up eBay comps. He just doesn't like doing eBay. So like I will gladly pay him a premium, pay up for that stuff. It's going to be more than what I would pay at a garage sale, but I'm not riding all around town, wasting time and gas trying to do it. Dante, what's going on, man?
What's up, Dante? Yeah, no, I love that idea. I love building relationships. I actually was talking with someone on Instagram before the live. They reached out and said, "Hey, like I can supply you with 100 pairs of clean, ready to be listed shoes a week if that's something you're interested in." I go sourcing all the time. I'm able to get a lot of inventory. So I mean, building those kind of relationships. And when we first started, we would actually sell stuff to someone. And if they were like, it was a vintage item, we'd be like, "Hey, would you be interested if we find more?" And we just kind of created we became personal shoppers for, 10 to 15 people.
Nice.
But that's the way to do it. Like you're saying, like you just continually go. Cause that's one thing I was going to ask, like you don't have like year round. I'm sure you guys get horrible weather. So you don't have like year round yard sales. There's like a yard sale season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's pretty much coming to an end, which is unfortunate. It really picks up around like May and goes kind of through September is about what it is. There'll be some in April and some in October, but for the most part, that's kind of the window.
So what's your transition once yard sales go down? You just have enough inventory?
Yeah, it used to be I would do like live auctions, even though those are kind of dead now. Everything's going online. I would go to thrift stores, things like that. But the thrift store scene in Cincinnati is terrible. It's really bad. Like just not great stuff. Stuff's overpriced. It's just not worth my time anymore. So now I can lean on all the network, all the
Nice.
people that I buy from on a regular basis and doing bulk buys. Like I do bulk buys like crazy.
And your new place, your new facility office, you're going to have, or is it already open, like a shop up front, up top?
Yeah. So the second floor is all like a store. I've got, so this was originally a house and then converted into an office space.
Nice.
So like, the bedrooms, are kind of meant to be offices. So like there's 3 big rooms upstairs and a long hallway. So I have everything up there. I'm actually having a sale this Saturday, and then it spills out in the parking lot too. So we've got a massive parking lot here. It's like 12 parking spaces, tons of space on both sides of the building. So we got a lot of room to like spread out, have a sale, and we do that once a month.
Nice. And that, see, I've always been interested in, especially as we're growing like more and more shoes. I'm like, do I want to maybe get into a space where I just transcend into full form Al Bundy and have a shoe store?
But minus the trying them on for the women type thing.
Yeah, yes.
Everything's online.
That's where it goes downhill if I have to do that part. That's where you lose sales. I'm trying to make money.
Right.
But I've just gotten into such a groove with, I get the USPS shoebox boxes, the shoes go right in there. I don't have to, it's so seamless with eBay. And I know everybody has their issues with different selling platforms, but for us, for the most part, we have not really had too many issues with eBay that we see a lot of other resellers. So, knock on wood that they're watching. We're happy. Don't mess it up.
Right. We love you, eBay.
Yeah. So saying consistent videos, how much bolos and what sold once in a while. Connect with Chris. Yeah. Yes. I see him in the bins as well. I love interacting out in public, unless it's like a new row coming out and then it's like, all right, cool, man. 1 second.
That's funny.
We're competition right now.
Right. Yeah, you got to put your game face on.
Exactly. I'm always interested, though. So when you do go to thrifts, what are the sports teams that you find there? Because in Houston, we find St. Louis Cardinals stuff everywhere.
Really? That's
everywhere.
Funny, man.
And we all hate the Cardinals. So I don't understand why our thrift stores are full of Cardinals stuff. So I imagine it's coming from up there. So I'm always wondering where the Astros stuff is going.
Yeah, we don't have any Astros stuff. We'll have some Reds and Bengals, but then other than that, it's just kind of like scattered. We don't get a lot of, at least the thrifts I hit, we don't get like a lot of new old stock. You know what I mean? Okay. Like stuff that came from a store. At least not that I'm seeing, anyways.
So you at least get the sports teams that are in your area,
right? Yeah. Which the Bengal stuff, you can't give it away, man.
Yeah.
Like if you rank all the teams of all the different sports of like what the best sellers are, the Reds are going to be near the top. Like everybody's nerds like me. They love the Reds. There's a lot of history. The team celebrates the history. That's part of it. So I'd say Reds are like top 5% of like reselling, and the Bengals are like bottom of the barrel. They're
Yeah.
terrible. Like the team doesn't care about the history at all. They don't celebrate it. They can't even sell out games. That whole organization is a complete joke. It's an absolute dumpster fire. I'm sorry if there's Bengals fans watching this, but I'm sorry. It's bad. It's really bad. So don't buy Bengals stuff. You know, even if it's new with tags and think you're going to make money or not, like
Yeah.
you can give us stuff away.
I saw a Houston reseller yesterday. He posted a picture. He found like a vintage like Bengals chalk line, like one of those satin bomber jackets.
Now the vintage stuff you will be okay with.
And I was
that'll
like,
sell to
hopefully
people
that
aren't just Bengals fans. That stuff will definitely sell.
because it just kind of looks like a tiger stripe jacket. And I was
Right.
like, you might be able to actually get some money on that.
Yeah.
But other than that, nobody wants that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's plenty of, people that just like those jackets or like the NFL that aren't Bengals fans that'll buy that. But yeah, like any kind of modern stuff, yeah, the Bengals is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough sell.
Vintage in the next few years is going to be very interesting with all of the fast fashion, like redoing the old stuff. So like Chalkline is putting out the same jackets that they used to put out, but they're new. They just changed the tag. So there's going to be a lot more confusion with like people buying and thinking they're getting a vintage jacket, but they're getting reproduction. I've said it before a few times, like Pacific Sunwear or Pac Sun here in Houston, they started reprinting the 94-95 championship Rockets t-shirts, the exact same print.
Oh, wow.
But it has a Pac Sun tag instead. And I'm just like, oh, wow. I mean, I guess it's cool for the young kids that, but
right.
Somebody's going to rip somebody off. It's just weird to see all of that stuff. Like nobody's really creating new logos or new anything. They're just like, oh, secondhand market is going to the moon. Let's just start reprinting all that stuff. Devin said, going into winter, do y'all like to source coats? I am not really a fan, but I also live in Houston, so.
Right. I source coats year round, but I do sell some, even some in some of the warmer months. But yeah, obviously a lot more during the winter. I'm super fortunate here. I've got almost unlimited space. I've got tons and tons of space here. I don't have a lot of room for like big furniture and pieces like that, so I'm pretty much staying away from furniture. But like I could store 100 coats, no problem, if I found good ones to sell. I do sell clothing, but I'm really, really, really picky about what I'm buying. Like super picky. So.
Yeah, clothing, we used to have tubs and tubs of it, and then I just realized it's too hard to, I mean, I know people are like full-time clothing, but for me, it was just too hard as far as you could think you're taking all the proper measurements and photos, and then you're still going to get a million questions about little specific things that you're like, wait,
for
people
sure
actually measure that? I've gotten on jeans, people are like, hey, can you measure the calf?
Oh my God.
My calves will fit in these jeans. And I'm like, how big are your calves? That's what I want to know.
What workouts are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. What's going on, Ray? We got someone from across the pond in. How you doing? But yeah, so I've kind of strayed away. Unless it's vintage shirts, then those are pretty simple and straightforward. Most people know exactly. When you're dealing with vintage, usually people just search VTG on eBay and go that route.
Right.
Have you ever done any like wholesale or bulk buy, things like that? Like,
yeah, my biggest like wholesale buy, it was really interesting. It wasn't from, a distributor or anything like that. It was somebody I knew with my old business, and he had this massive, massive warehouse for his trucking company, and he was like leasing out some of the space, maybe like 5,000 square feet, and the guy that was leasing the space was doing media, and he had bought something like 50 some pallets of media from various like thrift stores or like libraries around the country, I guess, and had it shipped to him. And then the dude just ghosted him, left town, didn't pay rent or anything, left all of his product. So it worked out well because my guy already had the trucks.
Yeah.
He's got a trucking company. He's like, do you want this stuff? And I'm just like, I do, but like I'm trying to think of like how I'm gonna process it and everything. And it took about 6 months, and it was like 50 pallets. I'm talking like the big Gaylords, just full of media. And I've got videos on it because it's been like, I want to say 3 years now. and it was really interesting. I learned a ton about media, like so much, like to the point now where I've developed an eye for kind of media, like either
Oh,
out of print
nice.
DVDs or like educational stuff. Like I could scan through a huge thing of media in 5 minutes and like for the most part pick out some cherries. So it was a really good learning experience. I did make some good money, but it was a ton of work, ton of work.
Yeah, I think looking at, I mean, I've niched down to like two categories, but I think when you start, I think everybody just anything they can make money on. I think that's the best route as far as you get to learn a little bit about everything and then find out which ones you're interested in. Like me, we've done books. We got Gaylords of books, and I realized very quickly I was not into books at all.
Scanning gets so old, man.
God.
Scanning gets old.
Yeah, it's just like ding, and oh, finally. But I do see book resellers at the bins or at thrift stores, and they're not doing the traditional scan every book. Like they literally just, oh, that's a winner. Oh, that's a winner. I know that just comes with they've been doing it so long.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get more like that when it comes to shoes. Like I don't even have to look things up anymore. I'm like, oh, I know that one's gonna. But
yeah.
my price point in my brain is I pick stuff that I know I can list for $35 or higher. So once I have that mentality, it's been pretty easy going forward to know I don't really have to look up too much.
Right. So you just made a big wholesale buy, didn't you?
Oh man. Not only that, but I just got a 10 by 30 storage unit yesterday because on Monday I have another shipment coming in of all brand new shoes.
Oh man, those are the ones you're going to try to send to Amazon?
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to try to send to Amazon. And so what we're trying to transition to is have like a set, like once a month, we have a shipment of brand new inventory come in that we can process very quickly. And that's just going to like pad the numbers because those are averaging about 4 brand new pair of sale per day. And then the used shoes from sourcing and the bins and things like that will help the buy cost and then also, increase the profit and add to the sales. But so far, since we got the first pallet of new shoes, we're averaging 4 sales a day.
Nice.
Our current sell-through price is like $47.51. So for us, that's good margin for us to keep doing that. But scaling scares me tremendously because I am still operating the pest control company. We're slowing it down, but I don't think we're going to make it till December like we anticipated. I think we're just going to try and knock everybody out that we have left for the year next month and then just hit the ground running in November because, we're talking possibly 5,000 shoes, which it hurts to say. I mean, it's good, but
that's amazing.
It's stressful. But I know that's where I want to go with that portion. It gives us the freedom to still do the fun stuff, which is the treasure hunting, which is I think why everybody gets into reselling, other than the freedom.
Yeah, for sure. For sure it does. Like I love having people that bring me stuff, and I love bulk buys, buying a lot at once. Like it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, hunting is definitely more fun. I'd much prefer running around the garage sales and stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's one thing I was going to ask with all of your garage sale videos and being the large scale that you have on YouTube. So how are you not like immediately when you get out of your car, people at yard sales are like, John's here.
I get noticed by a lot of the shoppers, like, other people shopping, like they'll say hi and stuff.
Does that ever mess up your negotiation? Sorry.
Only like once. It didn't really mess it up. But yeah, the guy just like totally blew me up. It was interesting. He was like, yeah, watch out for this guy. Like he's got a YouTube channel and he's a big time reseller. Like he just kept going. And I was like, what the hell, man? It was weird. But the lady just took it in stride. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that comes in when I think about recording. I'm just like, man, if I had somebody that was doing something like that, like I'd have to be like, okay, pause, guy, you can't do this. but try to maintain some kind of, nice, especially like if someone at your level, like you can't just go off and just deck them and just like play. What's okay? So it's just guy in the back rolling around in the grass. Yeah, I always wonder, like you and Josh, Harry Tornado, like going out, having such a large fan base or following, getting recognized and it ruining deals or potentially, messing up in any way what you were trying to do. But for the most part, it seems to be working very well.
Yeah, I haven't had too many issues. Even with like reselling, when I first was going to garage sales, I didn't tell people I was a reseller, but now I do, and like people don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 95% of the people having the sale just want the stuff gone. They don't care what you're doing with it, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I picked up on pretty quick too. Is like I was only shy about what I was doing when I was going and buying stuff from people for maybe a couple months. And I was like, wait, they don't want it anyway. That's why they're selling it. So why should you be like scared to tell them what you do? Chicago Crown said, you guys get into the sports card trend. Me, not at all. Like I have all my cards from when I was a kid, and my wife has cards, but as far as like going through and like, it's too much, in my opinion, it's too much work. Unless you're finding unless you know the market and things like that. I got out of cards a long time ago.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. I got into it a little bit. I think it's been like 6-9 months ago. I bought a big collection. The price was right. It was really cheap. I made some good money with those. And then maybe 2 months ago, I stumbled upon this garage sale where this guy had this massive like 5-row box of cards, and it was like all his best cards that he had put out there, and like he wrote his little prices on them and everything. And there was like autograph cards, patch cards. There was like a Bo Jackson autograph card. There was an Aaron Judge autograph card. Really, really good cards.
Yeah.
And I got them all for $1,000.
Was that the video where you didn't have the full amount and you're just like,
yeah,
hey,
I had to go to the ATM.
Yeah, I remember because my initial thought was, before I even say anything, everyone in the comments is going to be like, oh, he's going to take all the good cards when you're at the ATM.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, he didn't, because I had already gone through them, so I had already seen like 3 or 4 cards that were well over $100 each. And when I got back, just to like be curious, I was like, okay, they're all still there. So
yeah, that's what I thought in my mind. I was like, he's probably going to like remember certain spaces and certain cards, and then just make sure they're there. And if they're there, then the rest are there. Yeah, I remember that video. That was an awesome pickup. But like, I know cards are probably extremely easy to photograph. Do you ever send any off to get graded, or?
I've sent some off. It's been maybe like 6 or 7 months. I sent them to PSA like right before they stopped taking cards in, so I got mine in just in time. So we'll see. I haven't thought about sending anything in to like get graded and then flip, just because like the market is so fickle, and right now their return times are really, really, really slow. It could be a year, it could be 2 years. I don't know when those cards are coming back, to be honest. Like, I know they've got a crazy backstock right now, so I don't like that unknown, sending something in, because like a player could get injured, they could have some kind of crazy scandal, and then their value is totally shot. Like, there's just too much.
I see other resellers that do cards, and they're always like, oh, they're unboxing their graded cards or their video games, and they're just like, oh, these are from 12 months ago, and I'm just like, the market could tank in literally a month, and you're waiting 12 months. Like, I don't, unless you're keeping it for personal, I don't. My mind can't think that far. It's like,
yeah, it's a double gamble for sure, because you're gambling on what your grade's going to be, and then you're gambling on what the market will be like when you get it back. Exactly. It's really interesting too, like vintage compared to new. You know what I mean? Because like if you got a brand new rookie of, I don't know, let's say Lamar Jackson or somebody that's currently playing, the newer cards are printed much better for the most part. Like the edges are cleaner, and just the print is much better. And you're hoping for a 10 or a 9 at the worst. And guys are getting back random 6s and 5s, and it's just totally screwing it up. But with vintage cards, I think with vintage cards, like 50s, 60s, 70s, you've got a much better guess on what you're going to get back if you know like what you're looking at and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of cards went insane, and I never thought cards would ever come back, to be honest. As I became an adult, and like when I was a kid, that was all I collected, and then as I got an adult, like just didn't think about cards, and then all of a sudden I start seeing signs at my store saying you can't buy cards here. And I'm like, wait, did something happen? And then I get on the internet and I see these videos, and I'm like, these people are doing this on cards?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Devin asked if you show up early to yard sales.
Oh yeah, for sure. On average, like 30 minutes or so if it's a neighborhood sale. Just because if there's a lot of houses in a neighborhood, like somebody's gonna be open early. And I usually always ask, like, hey, am I too early? They pretty much never care.
I saw it's actually, I think, Dante's recent video, and he's just like, I'm up extremely early with John. We're going yard sale.
Right? He was lying. He was saying I had him up at like 5 a.m. or something.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's why I don't do yard sales. I don't even like getting up that early to set up our yard sale. And we only have one. Our neighborhood only allows them quarterly. But every time it comes up, like I know our last one for the year is in December. Like I'm already dreading it. I'm like, oh God, I got to wake up at like 5 and get everything.
Man. December yard sales. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it'll still be like 80 degrees here. It's just horrible. Like we had a cool front come in 2 days ago. It's like 78 right now. It feels amazing. Everybody's outside.
Yeah. I need to do some scouting, man. I think I need to do some road trip garage selling this fall and winter. Like once it's dead in Cincinnati, I need to map out some spots to go hit.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, have you ever thought about like doing traveling, not maybe traveling yard sale, traveling, flea markets or anything like that, and recording, or if you're too tied to like your area?
I'm open to it for sure. The money would have to be right as far as like what am I spending gas, hotel, all that stuff versus like, hitting sales in an area I know nothing about. That's kind of a risk of like, will I make some profit? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that comes into more of the like the risk reward / like adventure thrifting versus like to drive. Let's say if you went south, you come south and then 4 days you haven't found any yard sales, you're not finding anything worth anything. It's like spend all this money. So yeah, I can totally see that because I've always had the idea of traveling to where other resellers are. That way I know at least there's people reselling there. So there's got to be some kind of profit, and then doing kind of like film or at least just sourcing there.
Right.
But then I just think, oh, well, I could drive west and in 12 hours, I'll still be in Texas. So
yeah, I
could literally just do a Texas store and go to other resellers and stay in the state. Jeff asking you what's your average sale price on eBay?
Let's open up my app and I'll tell you the most up-to-date average sale price. Let's see. I'm pushing for 50K. I'm at like 48K on my 90-day right now. I'm trying to make that push for 50. All right, 48, 67, and 930. Hey, I hit $50. I've been pushing really hard, so that's my average right now, 51.68.
51.68. There you go, Jeff. 51.68, and let me see. Mine is 48.80.
That's solid, man. That is really good.
Yeah, anything. I mean, honestly, for me, I've always tried to keep it over 40. So, I'm still worried that if the majority of my listings are new, that my sale price is going to go down because obviously I'm paying more for the new merchandise. But when you're doing, it's something that's all new to me. Scaling is new to me because I've been so consistent with 70% or higher sell through rate, and I have to make at least $15 profit. And then when you go to, oh, well, I can give you 10,000 pairs of shoes a month, but you're only going to make, 8 to 9, or if you're lucky, 9.
You won't spend time cleaning them or, a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, that's the factor that I have to keep thinking. Like, hey, you got your first pallet and it was 250 pairs and you did it in 4 hours, like listed in 4 hours, photographed and listed. To do that used, that's like a week and a half, maybe, because I'll clean like 30 pairs of shoes and I'm like, I'm done with this for the day. I have cleaned enough shoes.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I think like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, my average was like 30. It was like, right between 25 and 30. And like, I just had that aha moment of like, I've got to do something about this. Like, so now if something's not going to sell for 20, I don't mess with it. I'll just put it in my sale. And if I have, 2 or 3 things that are like good together, or 5 things or whatever, I'll just group them up, like do them all for 40, do them all for 50.
Yeah.
I do a ton of auctions, like I sold micro machines. I had like 50 of those and I just did one big auction and they sold for like 100 and some bucks instead of trying to piece them out. Yeah.
And that's easier. Somebody was going to want, 50 of them versus like 2.
Exactly.
Man, I remember micro machines. Those were awesome.
Micro machines are the best.
Yeah.
I apologize. My wife was calling, so I'm shooting her a text really quick.
Oh, no problem at all. What's up, TJ? How you doing, man? When you talk about if you're not making 20, you pass on or move on from it. When I see other resellers, I'm gonna pick on him because I don't see him in the chat. But Paul, Philly Flipper, like he loves selling plush, and in my brain, like yes, I know there's some plush that's valuable because I've sold like a gorilla for like $100 that was from it was like from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But selling plush for $14 free shipping and things like that, like my brain, like I'm just like after eBay fees, and even if it's first class, like $5.20 shipping, like $4 profit's not, what's the point? Now if you have 10,000 of that same plush, then I could see that there would be a point in scaling it, but random, I don't know. I'm also not into like stuff, so like 500 various plush sounds like a horror movie to me.
Well, that's what's great about reselling is like everybody can do it a totally different way, but still make money.
Yeah, and he kills it. I mean, he also, like I heard you say about not having the space for furniture, like he is constantly selling local furniture, and the best part is he picks up a lot of it free, which I love. Shout out Trash Army. Anybody that's selling stuff for free, even if they don't find it in a trash or on the curb, if anybody is like, I mean, we get a lot of free stuff from Facebook Marketplace and we resell it. That's probably the only place we don't tell people we're reselling unless they ask, but because then they're like, well, I could have just sold this to you. But yeah, see, Dante has the same thing. $4 profit times 100 equals a lot, though. Small sales out up. No, I get it. And then if you've gone like a week or a few days without having a sale because all of your items are over $40, then you start thinking, oh man, I should add in some $10 items here and there. But
yeah, I will say I've noticed big time that, I mean, it's no secret that like the more you list, the more you sell, but like listing more sells other items. Like I don't pretend to know what the eBay algorithm is. I just know the more you feed it, the more it will work for you. So that's why I still will list like, $20 items or something around that price range. Just because I know listing 5, 10, 15, however many items in a day is just going to help me make more sales of those bigger items. So I definitely think there's a happy medium to be found for everybody.
Her name, I'm assuming it's a computer, so it's an algorithm, so it doesn't have a gender, but it's Carissa. That's what I think that's the name.
Carissa? Right? No, it's not Carissa.
Is it?
No.
Canini? It's something.
Cassini?
No, that's
Cassini.
Yeah, Cassini.
I think it's Cassini. Yeah,
that's the algorithm name. But yeah, I think I know a little bit about it, and then something will happen. I'm like, wait, what? That makes no sense. The biggest one that I see almost every other day is someone will make an offer on, let's say, a pair of shoes that I have for $39.99. They'll offer $25. I'll counter, and then within an hour, they sell for full price to someone completely different.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
the way it goes.
What happened?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, hey, somebody's interested in this shoe. Let me promote it to other people that like these type of shoes. And then boom, it sells for full price. So I'm like, wait, did eBay just help me? So that's why I never talk bad about eBay on YouTube, because I know they're watching and listening at all times, like Facebook.
Yeah, they've got ears and eyes everywhere. Who was it that made a video? Was it Pete? Made a video talking about eBay, and he got a call within like the hour after the video.
Oh, I think I did see that one. Yeah, because he did an update video, right?
Yeah.
See, I don't. Great job, eBay. And I try to read their forums and things like that to like learn like new things. But when you're selling just shoes, it's pretty much, main photo white, so they can promote it on Google and promote your listings at least 1%. So they feel like you're part of the team. It's similar to Posh, but not as insane, in my opinion, as Poshmark. Like Poshmark is social media that sells things.
Yeah.
You have to be very active. Oh, he said it was Lonnie that did that.
Okay. Yeah. I remember that.
Texting by Design is what percentage of your sales are from auctions? From us, it's 0. We don't do any auctions.
Mine is less than 5%.
Okay.
So in order for me to do an auction, it needs to meet two criteria. The first one is it's got to be hard for me to pinpoint a value. Because if I know what something's worth and there's a sales history of it, I'm just going to list it for what it's worth. I'm not going to run the risk of putting it up for auction and it not bringing a lot of money. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is it needs to have a really good demand and basically like a following. So like if I can see a track record of similar things going for auction and getting a lot of bids, then I'll put it up. Like if I had a bunch of NES games or Legos or different things where I know there's a collector's market for it and they're going to bid it up, then I'll do it. And that's how the micro machines work. Like I was not going to look up every one of those micro machines and figure out what they were all worth, but I was going to let the bidders do that. The bidders are going to look through the pictures. Those collectors know which ones they are, and there's going to be at least two or more that are going to fight it out and bid it up.
Yeah.
So that's how I do my auctions.
I did. So we don't do, as far as shoes, we have no auctions, but when we do come across random like trash or dumpster things like that or pickups, then we'll, if it needs to be. So the two things that I can think of that we've auctioned were a lot of like 60 vintage G.I. Joe like vehicles that there's no way I was going to look them all up and then individually photograph. Literally just put them in the driveway, took the best photos I could, got some detailed ones on the ones that I knew were like the bigger winners, and then just put them back in the tubs. And I just let the collectors fight over that. And then I forgot to change the shipping to where it was.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
So I went to Canada. So that kind of,
it
wasn't too bad, but it kind of ate into it, but I got it out of the trash. So it wasn't, I didn't feel too bad about it, but I forgot that shipping thing killed me. Since then I've created separate shipping templates, and that way I don't have any errors like that ever again.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. When they won, I was just like, okay, that's a decent price. I can still make good money. I think it sold for like $268. And then they paid, and then they immediately messaged, and I was just like, Canada. Oh,
oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was actually a tattoo shop in Canada. He said he's just going to put them all above the shop list on a display or something. So that was pretty cool. He was excited, so it didn't make me feel too bad. I like it when people are like excited about whatever I found that they're into.
Right.
See you later, TJ. He's going live here in a little bit. You have any yard sales scheduled, or do you do estate sales as well?
Yeah, I'll do some. I'll do more now that garage sales are kind of ending. I'm going tomorrow. There'll be some sales. I normally go on Saturdays, but since I'm having my own sale, I'll just be here running that.
Okay. And how does your store sales, are they do well as well?
Yeah, they do good. I've had two. My first one, we did $1,100. My second one, we did $1,800. This one, my goal is probably about 1,000. My last one, I had a little bit better stuff. I had some vintage toys doing the packaging and stuff. This one's just a bunch of random stuff. I bought out a big eBay store like 3 weeks ago, so a lot of it is that stuff. So it'll just be interesting to see how that does. But I like it because I do it like 7 a.m. to 12. Like I do it in the short window.
Yeah.
Everybody comes, buys it, and like I'm done. Like I don't have normal store hours. I don't have employees, none of that.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my follow-up is do you have like a set schedule? Okay, cool. That's awesome. Asking what is the peak garage sale time? He kind of already mentioned, I think you said it usually runs, what did you say, May to September?
Yeah, May to September is like kind of the time for us.
Yeah, we here. I mean, you're in Texas somewhere, so we're yard sales all the time. Our neighborhood, our HOA only allows one every quarter, so when we have them, the whole neighborhood shows up, and it's crazy. Sadly, most of the people in my neighborhood just don't sell shoes, so it's not stuff that I'm interested in. And we've brought out shoes before. What we do is I'll start pulling all the shoes that have gone past the 90-day threshold for us, and we'll try and just move them quick. But we've never had, so this December will be the first time where I could possibly open a garage and have all new shoes. But mostly people aren't coming to garage sales to spend $25 for a pair, even if they're new. Like, yeah, we've learned what people ask for in our neighborhood, because of it's so easy to schedule. All the surrounding people in the cities know our neighborhood has them quarterly, so people come out of the woodworks, and typically, like, my wife, there's two people that come every yard sale, and she always has to. She's nicer at this than me. And be like, "How much is this? It's a pair of jeans, $2. I'll give you 25 cents. No, they're $2. I'll do $1. Okay, 25 cents." Just like I don't have the patience for it, so I'm just the muscle. I
Yeah.
set everything up and then I go inside.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Like there's a way to barter that doesn't just straight like this is the lowest, and I'm just gonna keep saying this over and over.
Right.
Literally, they'll say it like 20 times. They're like, 25 cents.
Yeah. I've
That's
never
what
come across anybody like that have been to my sales. I've been lucky.
I think everybody just knows who you are in your area.
I don't think so. I get
They're
plenty
like,
of random people driving by.
yeah, they're like, no, I'm not. I know he's not going to say no. That's why I don't when I go to other people's garage sales, like my brain, I don't want to, I guess, offend them, but I'm also out looking to make money. So if I see something, I know what my bottom dollar is. So I don't really like, I just go straight to it, but it's never like if something's $5, I'm not going to offer them 50 cents. But
right. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Usually like half is about the lowest I'll offer.
Yeah.
That's a good rule of thumb. Like if it's 10, I'll offer 5.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'll do. I'll try and cut whatever they're asking in half, and then knowingly, I know they're going to counter, and we can kind of go from there.
Right.
Thanks for stopping by, Dante.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
What's up, Baldy pal? Yeah, I get people message me all the time, like because I've developed relationships at certain Goodwill stores with Shoe Plug. Like if I walk in and the manager sees me, they'll like tell somebody, "Hey, go to the back and start pricing shoes." And they're just like, "Oh, do you ask for a discount?" I'm like, "No, never. I would never." That's a retail store. Like whether it's a thrift store or not, that's still a business. They're trying to make money. They're not going to adjust their prices. They already run sticker sales and coupon codes and things like that. So I see a lot of resellers getting into trouble, like thinking like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to buy all these shoes. Give me a discount." Like now that manager automatically doesn't like you in their store.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I mean, you go to thrift, so I don't know if this might be a question that won't come, but I'm noticing more thrift stores, especially Goodwill, has their own. They've always had their own little like eBay auctions. They're starting to sell and list more items. There's certain Goodwill stores that we have locally that I used to be able to get product at that I haven't seen shoes in months.
Wow, they're selling the shoes on eBay. That's surprising.
I think they've moved to, hey, well, if this guy keeps coming, that's just my brain is like, well, you used to be a good spot, and now I'm finding maybe one pair. So I've taken them off my route, and I noticed there's a way more shoes on the Shop Goodwill site. So I'm wondering
I'm surprised they're wanting to do that, like put in the work of cleaning them and everything. Like
they sell them as is. They don't clean them. Yeah. The Goodwill auctions are literally just like out of their Gaylords, and then the photos are horrible, and then you just bid on them. There's no like zoom ins on any flaws or anything. Like
Are they auctioning the shoes?
Yes.
Like one pair at a time?
Yes.
That is a horrible model.
Yeah,
really bad model.
Yeah, so I would
think about it like they have this huge platform and it's great and all, but like the amount of people that can fit that shoe and like that style is that big.
Exactly.
It's like super tiny.
Yeah. And not only that, like, again, the pictures are not the best quality, like what you would consider like a eBay or, even like a stock photo on Amazon. So if there's any flaws, like you're literally, their website is set up like you're buying as is, the end. And then if you get a pair of shoes for, let's say you win it for $4, there's like a $2.99 processing fee. Then there's $1 something fee, and then you pay shipping on top of it. So you can still make money if you buy it. But I've noticed that there are certain categories. There's like 100 pages now when there used to be maybe like 15 pages. So they're definitely trying to expand their online presence. And I think that's because, COVID, everybody's buying online. I think they're trying to tap into the online market, but they're doing it very horrible. So I don't see it being consistent. Also, whoever they have doing their photos and their listings doesn't do a very good job.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like a pair of Nikes and it'll just say black shoes. that's the description you get to bid on.
Dante's saying they had a vote to move towards a more online presence. They've been doing that more. They will have facilities strictly for online sales by 2023. Interesting.
Wow. So that's something. If you're if you're a thrifting reseller, that's something to consider. Like you might basically have to start coming up with new ways to. That makes me feel a little better about getting into wholesale and bulk. Because when those two used pallets of shoes at 1,000 pounds got delivered to the house, like I had nowhere to put them, so we just put them in front of the garage. And in my brain, I was like, okay, I got 2 days until code enforcement drives by and tells me that they
right.
Oh yeah, so
yeah, oh yeah, the HOA, man, they'll be on it.
Yeah, everybody was like, man, you got through those pallets quick, and I was like, I had to, because the fine for them being out there is not worth having them in my driveway.
Oh, that's funny.
As an IT guy, I think Goodwill is trying to keep up with the times. Yeah, they're not executing it at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think, unless they outsource and hire like professional people that know what they're doing, like the staff that Goodwill has is not going to be capable of comparing or making their own auction site like eBay or anything like that.
Yeah, there's no way. They're just going to be selling to resellers.
Exactly. So it's just going to be a little bit more expensive for a reseller to get product. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I kind of stopped doing at the bins too. Everybody jumps in when the new rows come out. I kind of backed off on that because I realized that the people that are also doing shoes, they're not selling on other platforms. Most of them are selling them at the flea market on the weekend.
Huh.
So I can just go bargain with them on the weekend and maybe pay $2-3 more per pair, but I'm not having to fight anybody. Most of the time they've at least done a halfway clean on them. So it's still worth it and there's still money to be made. And then it's just an entire table of shoes versus having to dig through all the crap.
Yeah, and like fighting everything. It's amazing how many resellers just hate eBay and won't do eBay, period. Like they a lot of them I'll hear like they had something returned or something went wrong, they got a bad taste in their mouth and then never again. It's insane. I mean, I'm grateful for them very much so because I get so much inventory from them.
Yeah, exactly. Like anytime someone says, "Oh, I don't sell online, I just sell at flea markets," I'm like, "Thank you so much."
We could.
What's your booth number?
Right. Yeah,
I want to keep you in business.
For sure.
I do a lot of books, and I know some areas scan their books and sell. Oh yeah, for sure. I've seen them pull like big books. Like if they think it's worth something, they'll take it off the shelf. I see that all the time. Yeah, it's normally what happens. I don't buy there online because see, that's the other thing. They have like those little small fees that don't have like, you don't know what they are. Like I guess the $2.99 processing fee, I guess they call it that because that's the cost of the box and the bubble wrap that they use, like a supply fee. I think it's called Culver's Antique Market. It's not an antique market. Trader's Village is okay, but most of those people are buying stuff off of the whole wholesale area and then just flipping it. So that it's all new in box, like made in China toys.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, man. The amount of like Amazon returns and wholesale stuff is insane.
Yeah, they just opened up like 5 more of those like overstock stores here. And they always, for some reason, they always like attack our Facebook page. They're like, "Hey, you're in Houston? Come on and check us out, man." And they'll send like a DM. Yeah. They're like, "Hey, we'd love to have you come to our grand opening." And I'm just like, I don't sell any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to lure Dante to Texas with them. I'm like, "Hey man, we got a lot of those stores and I know you love them."
Oh, right. Yeah, Dante's all about the bins. He finds some great stuff in there. He's gotten to the point where his eye is just trained. Like he could do it in like a tenth of the time that I could of like going through and like finding good things. Like it would take me a lot longer. Yeah,
I get overwhelmed pretty quickly when it comes to like mass just randomness.
Yeah, it's sensory overload, man, for sure. Yeah, I've only been to one of those types of stores like 2 or 3 times, but I did good. I spent an hour in there. I got like 8 things for $25, and then I ended up selling them for $250. So I was pretty happy with that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think any really veteran, seasoned reseller can go into a situation like that and be able to just like filter out the crap. You don't have to scan everything. Yeah. You just have a good idea of like what something retailed for new. It's kind of like playing the Price is Right. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this probably retailed for 50 to 100 new. So let's scan this one and like look it up. And like, that's kind of how I approached it.
Yeah, and one of the things he kills it on is the fill a bag day. Like most people don't
Oh yeah,
even go for fill a bag day, and he crushes it.
yeah.
But that
I
again,
would
that
do the same thing. I wouldn't go like the ones that we have. I would never go the first day. Like I see the lines and everything that they're doing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get all you guys' sloppy seconds. I don't care. Like I'll get the stuff that you missed. That's what I'll find because I'm not fighting all that stuff. Like it's just not something I want to do.
that's how I am at the bins as well. I'm just like, you know what, you guys, I'm not getting elbowed in the face over some dirty shoes. I'll just let you,
Right.
and then I'll go and pick up all the Vionics and the Chacos and the Tivas and the Merrills and all the shoes you don't know about. I'll get all those because they're literally just Nike, Reebok, Puma, or Adidas.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm just like, okay, I'll make money on all this other stuff you don't know. Like, but our hour has been reached, man. I don't want to hold your time too much. Yes,
Well, this
Devin.
is fun, man.
Yeah, I love doing this. I love engaging with resellers. I love talking with other people. Again, I wanted to pick your brain more on your YouTube because I think for your style, the reason that I am drawn to your channel is because it looks like, and I could be wrong, you follow the KISS method. You keep it pretty simple. You're not diving into too crazy analytics, which I don't think a lot. I can't do like the Mr. Beast and figure out the trend of YouTube and then just nail it.
Right.
But in your videos, when you film, I feel like I'm the one at the yard sale until you start talking. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that aspect as well. So I'm trying to actually implement things like that. And I noticed a lot of other resellers are kind of following the model that you've laid out for so many people. So I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if you notice it, but I think it's cool to see other people doing what you've been doing and it working. So.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I wasn't the first one to like rock the body cam at a garage sale by any means. Shout out to Justin RVA Phillips. He was the first one I heard of, like doing the little, the clip on the backpack. And I'm like, that's genius. Like that's so smart. So I started doing that, and it just made things so much easier. Like I had both hands instead of just like awkwardly holding a GoPro while I was at garage sales. But yeah, it's fun. I am extremely fortunate that I can do what I love, going to garage sales and like bringing people along with me. It's pretty neat.
Yeah. And again, that's the one consistent I see from almost every reseller, no matter what category, what niche, or where they source from, is we all are appreciative that we're able to do this.
Yeah.
It's like it's the best job that no one ever told you about in school and probably never will ever tell you about.
Right. For sure.
But that's it, guys. If you're all watching on the replay, thanks for sticking around. Again, thank you to you, John, for coming on the show today. What's up, Drew? I saw you just jumped in. I usually just let the guest do any plug or say anything you got, and that's it.
Just thanks for having me, man. I miss doing live shows. They're a lot of fun. So I just really appreciate being here, and everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so much. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, and make sure you go to the I was going to say go and follow, but you guys are already following them. If you're in this, you're already following them. But if you're not, his links are in the description. Thank you so much.
No problem. See you, man.